Hi everyone, it's Charles here from Trilling Quality System, and I'm with Steve. We wanted to show you our new scripts for PONTOS Live. It's designed for composite manufacturing to measure and inspect toes and plies as you're building your structure. Enjoy! We're opening up a new project. The first things we're going to do is we're going to adjust and initialize our sensors. What we're seeing here, the live view, we're going to take a reference images of the environment or the tooling around our parts. In the area we're going to lay out the plies. In this case, we do not have actual composites to lay out. So we're going to start by defining that area of measurements based on a fixture. In this case here, this is just a table, Steve's office. And we're going to create a coordinate system. So the XYZ positions based off of that. We can import this already, but here we're going to use measurement adapters using a touch probe. So a point adapter is here. And now they're automatically going to be detected. So you can see there's a little arrow here, and at the tip of the arrow, we have a point being measured. So we're going to start by creating a coordinate system based off of those of 6 points measured by the arrow adapter. There you go. So we have all of our points created now. We have our 6 points. Steve's going to quickly adjust the visual by changing the display mode, so they're going to be bigger and yellow, so they're going to contrast with the fixtures in the background. The next step is to build our 3-to-1 alignment. So again, using our 6 points or 5 points here, we're going to be creating a plane first between Z1, Z2, and Z3. Then an axis that we're defining for Y, and then finally where that coordinate system is touching. Awesome. Let's try to start measuring plies now that we've created our coordinate system for the measurement. Right, so the first step when we start this is to create the default values of our parts. So what's the area of interest? And then we're just going to use those values to lay out in our draft the different dimensions. So first we're going to create a first ply in here to say, well, we'll start our measurements on ply 1, so ply 0, 1. Defined, and then we're going to be able to loop through the different plies and look at the depth of the part as we go on. But let's start measuring with our adapters again, but this time with our line adapters, and measure our toes. All right, so that little T adapter here is what's creating the line, and he's using a caliper just to get a rough idea of the distance between the lines so that we can see here, you know, if we had an expected location that we wanted to be at in our building process, then we'd be measuring that quality at the same time. That looks about right. So we're done measuring different lines. We could now build the distances between these lines and inspect those to see, did we indeed lay out our plies at the right distance? And the first step when we start building our distances is to create our first point in the bottom toe, and then we're going to project the distance to for all the toes to that point. So now we can select all of those toes we want to build distance to, and from there, as we build OK, it's going to loop through and ask us what's the expected nominal distance. So we can type in, we knew it was supposed to be 20, 40, and 60, I believe. And then define a tolerance as well, so we're going to know if we are within tolerance as well in our toe positions. We are for the first one, so we can look at a tabulator and see the nested distances along with the tolerance values. And now we can save this into our ply view, so now as we build more plies, we could just go back to these different view levels. Right. So if we go and build ply number 2, if we use the navigation tools, we can just move between the plies and see the layout. So we're going to go ahead and measure a ply in a different orientation now, 0, 90 degrees kind of orientations. And same process here, right? So we're creating our first point, and then we're going to build our distances and identify the distance nominal to expected. You can see here it's quite a quick measurements and a build inspection of our desired values. And we're getting data accuracy well below the millimeters. We're talking about micron level accuracies of the line position. Now, once we're done with the measurements of the different toes, we could also move on to the different modes in that little pop-up box. So we could also measure for each plies the end of part regions. Using again our touch probe that we add, say the arrow, we can measure the corners of our end of our part. and for each Ply document, therefore, the EOP. When we exit the dashboard here, it will automatically prompt us and ask us to export all of that data. So you can see a table show up with the list of all the end of parts that we built, all the adapter lines, the dimensions, and whether or not they are within tolerance. And we can save that information as a CSV file. We could customize this view as well, of course. We can save all of that information for our Layup. So there you go. That's the little trillion Ply monitoring dashboard for PONTOS Live.